Welcome to Keeping It Real with KC. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and this is another weekend. Today is July 20, hold on, 5th. Today's July 25th. And I'm doing this episode today, 12:37 p.m., which it'll probably be uploaded either tonight or tomorrow, depending on what's happening, which I have to go into for just a second. But before I go any further, let me get some of the housekeeping stuff out of the way. As usual, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the subscribe button followed by the notification bell. That way you know when the episode is uploaded. If you're watching on Daily Motion, then just click the subscribe button. Because as I said before, people seem to watch, but don't necessarily subscribe. And I seem to have a lot of listeners on the podcast too, because more countries keep popping up in the analytics, which I guess is a good thing. So for those who are listening to this in other countries, whether it be Israel, whether it be Australia or the UK or wherever, thank you for supporting the show and for listening. I appreciate you more than you know. And if you're in another country listening to this podcast besides the United States of America, but also including the United States of America, thank you for listening to the show. You can go directly to the main podcasting website, KIRWKC.com. KIRWKC.com will take you directly to the main podcasting website. As for Twitter, KIRWKC.com is the Twitter handle. Instagram, KIRWKC.com. And now we have a Facebook page, but I don't know what it is because I can't use the KIRWKC username. So it isn't like Facebook.com/KIRWKC because I just created the Facebook page, which is part of the administrative stuff I'm doing. So when you go on Facebook, if you put in KIRWKC for the pages, hopefully it will come up. If not, I'm sure I will eventually have the link somewhere within the details of the video or of the episode of the podcast. And that dovetails into what I planned on telling you today, which is I'm only doing 2 episodes today. The reason is because I'm doing administrative stuff for this show as well as my other show, behind the scenes today. And it requires me to do extra stuff. So I don't have the bandwidth to do 5 episodes today, this weekend. But I will do 2 episodes this weekend. And now that I have rambled on for 3 minutes, let me go ahead and get to this particular episode. I told you last weekend that I would do an entertainment episode because a lot of the episodes have been lifestyle episodes. So the entertainment episode is about the New Mutants. The New Mutants is a Marvel movie, formerly Fox, because Fox owned the rights to the X-Men characters. But of course, Disney acquired Fox and Disney owns Marvel. So now it is a Marvel movie. When the movie was done, they were considering making changes, but Kevin Feige looked at it and he pretty much liked it as it was. It's going to be more of a horror type movie. And from all the previews that I've seen, this movie looks amazing. If the movie is as good as the previews. Now, there are situations where the previews of certain movies are amazing, but then you see the movie and you're like, okay, this was a bait and switch. I honestly don't believe this will be the case with the New Mutants. I think that the New Mutants will be a very solid movie. It's been delayed. And let's see, the first time was April 13th, 2018. And then it was delayed until February 22nd, 2019. And then August 2nd, 2019. And then February 22nd, 2019. And then August 2nd, 2019. And April 3rd, 2020. And now the new date for the New Mutants is supposed to be August the 28th of 2020. That is Disney's date, and they are supposedly sticking to it. That is why I titled this, The New Mutants Should Go to Video on Demand. The reason I say that, this movie is 3 years old. I don't see how much, I know Disney may have agreements with the theaters. I would just pay them off. Whatever agreements may have been in place, I would just throw them a little money and call it a day. And I say that because of this. If the movie is as good as the trailers seem to make it appear to be, then Disney would earn more goodwill by saying, you know what, we're just going to do video on demand. The fans have waited long enough. Because that's how I feel. I'm excited to see this movie. I'm not going to the movie theater to see this movie. I'm not big on going to the movie theater anyway. That's one reason why I canceled my A-list back before all this other stuff happened. And by all this other stuff, you know what I'm talking about. I canceled my A-list probably 2 to 3 months before everything started happening. And I canceled it because I was only going maybe once a month, if that. And there wasn't any point for me to have it anymore. It was like a gym membership in some cases, because some people have gym memberships and they just don't go, so they're just spending money for nothing. Now, on top of everything going on in the world, there may be people who enjoy going to the movie, but due to the current climate, those people may not want to take a chance going to the movies. So if Disney were to just say, you know what, we're going to do video on demand. We're going to let the people see it. If they want to buy it, great, and do it that way. Because Trolls went to video on demand. There was money lost on Trolls, but also they earned a lot of goodwill and PR from the Trolls release. Because apparently it was a very popular film for those who watched it. I haven't seen Trolls. I'm not a Trolls type person. But for those who have seen Trolls or have kids that have seen Trolls, I didn't hear any really negative reviews about it. Sort of like Sonic the Hedgehog. I didn't really hear any negative reviews about it. So I believe New Mutants will fall in that category. I also believe that they could use the press, the goodwill, to get everyone hyped for the other movies that are coming down the pipeline that they plan on releasing in the movie theater. Because mind you, the New Mutants is not related to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So as I said before, on that level, Disney isn't losing anything. Disney and Marvel just happened to acquire this movie from Fox. Fox had already done all of the heavy lifting with the movie. So financially, yes, Disney could lose millions of dollars with video on demand, but also they could lose millions of dollars with releasing it in a movie theater. Because, yeah, we know it's coming out, but I'm sure they may do more marketing. They may spend 10, 15, 20 million more dollars for marketing to say, hey, we're releasing it on August 28th. And if they spend millions of dollars on marketing and then the movie doesn't do well because nobody wants to go to the movies, then that's money wasted. That 10, 15, 20 million dollars that they spent on marketing, they could have spent that on the contracts to the theaters to pay them off and anybody else to say, hey, we're releasing it to video on demand. And then, as I said before, taking that momentum, as long as the reviews are good from the people who watch it via video on demand, they could take that momentum and then push the next project saying, hey, you love the New Mutants so much, this next one, whether it be Black Widow or the Eternals or whatever, and once again, the New Mutants is not connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is a Fox property film. So, but they could still take the buzz, the energy, and go off of that energy and let some of the actual movies within the Marvel Cinematic Universe ride that energy a little bit to say, okay, this last one was good. These next movies will be good too. And it would be a lot more convenient for everybody else. If New Mutants came out on video on demand tomorrow, I paid the full price. Usually I wait till stuff goes on sale and then buy the movie for like $9.99 or $4.99 or $6.99 or something like that. I would pay $19.99 to buy the New Mutants because the previews look so amazing. And I think it's really cool that this film is more from a horror standpoint, not necessarily from an action mutant fantasy standpoint. I like the horror aspect of this film. And I honestly think it's going to be really cool. So that is my little 2 cents on the New Mutants. I think it should go straight to video on demand. Let people like me pay our $19.99 and buy it, and then that will be that. Okay, that's all I got. And believe it or not, that was pretty short. All in all, about 8 minutes, 3 minutes with the housekeeping stuff, 11 minutes. We're at almost 12 minutes. Pretty good. As I said before, don't forget to follow on Twitter, KIRWKC, Instagram, KIRWKC, and the main podcasting platform for those who want to listen to the podcast. It is KIRWKC.com. The main podcasting platform is Anchor, but the Keeping It Real with KC podcast is carried on several podcasting platforms. So if you prefer to listen on Spotify, go ahead and look up the show on Spotify or Google Play or Apple or wherever. The podcast is on at least 9 platforms, and this is an international show. To all who have watched the videos, to all who have listened to the podcast throughout the past few months, I appreciate you more than you will ever know. I'm about to record the other episode that I'm doing today, and it's going to be about soulmates because I said last weekend I would do the soulmates episode. So I will record that one and that will be it. Then I have to work on some administrative stuff. I can't tell you what it is because I want to do it first and then you will see what I have done. So it's kind of on the hush hush for right now. But just know I'm working on some administrative stuff behind the scenes for both my shows. And I appreciate everyone who has been listening and watching and supporting. And again, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I will see you soon. Be blessed.